Tell me about your fake storyline with Ryan and how everything with Harris, who was his cousin, how that played out in real, or maybe how that played out on the show first, and then how it played out in real life.
When we applied, to be on the show, we were engaged, and then what happened is COVID hit. I mean, like boom, like 3 4 weeks later, COVID hit, and they rely on tourism. So I started supporting the family.
And that's in Belize, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And so they don't get like what people get here, unemployment.
Yeah.
So he had sisters and brothers and his mother, and they had no income. So I was paying rent, I was paying cable, I was paying food, I
Mm.
was feeding the family and keeping a roof over their head. And at first he was appreciative, and then I was, letting him know, yes, they're filming me here, and eventually we'll get there. And they, as the saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished. He then started saying, I want more money. And I'm like, you want more money? He goes, well, yeah, I'd like to have, you can't be here for my birthday. And, I like to have a party. And you usually, you know, throw a nice party for me. I'm like, Ryan, this year is not party time. I'm paying all the bills for you and your family to have a roof over your head. And he goes, if you
Right.
don't start sending me more money, I'm not doing the show. And I said, guess what? Engagement is off. I said, you will not extort money from me. How
Right.
dare you after I'm putting a roof over everybody's head? So I said, we're done. So
Wow.
I called the executive. I'm sorry, I did not call the executive producer. I called the field producer, Via. I said, Via, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Ryan and I have broken up. We're not going to be
Hmm.
on the show. She goes, oh, yes, you are. I said, excuse me? She goes, Stephanie, we have too much money wrapped up in you. We've been coming to Grand Rapids. We have, 150 hours wrapped up in you. You're doing the show. I said, no, I'm not doing the show. He's extorting me for money. And she goes, Stephanie, you're paying all their bills anyway. Just send him what he wants. I said, Via, when I do something out of the goodness of my heart, that's one thing. When extortion's involved and I'm being
What?
bribed, no, I'm
Oh
not
my
sending an effing
God.
dime. And I hung up on her.
Why don't they foot that bill if they want you to be engaged so bad?
You know what? And they said, and they had told me that before. They've been taken to court because somewhere, and it doesn't surprise me at all, now that things go on, they're not allowed to pay, that's why they only pay the Americans. They don't pay the people on the other
Right.
side, because then it looks like they're paying to have a TV show. So they've been taken to court before because I guess they got caught paying someone. So they're like, we're not allowed to pay. I'm like, well, that's okay. I don't want to be married to this guy now. Now he's really showing his true colors.
That's
So,
so horrible.
isn't it though? So, when they were supposed to come, I said, don't come. And they ended up showing, and they flew a crew of 15 here to take me anyway. And I said, I told you not to come. And they said, we're not leaving. We were told to come anyway.
What? This
Yes.
is insane. Were they at your house?
They weren't at my house, but they had taken enough. We had been filming at my house, but they had taken enough like green screen, and so they set up, and they had purchased a very large banquet room at a hotel about 20 minutes from my home. And they said, this is where we are. We're not leaving. And I said, good, stay there. And I
Good
turned
for
my
you.
phone off. But what happens then is, then when I turn my phone off, it then starts ringing to my medical assistant. So
Mm.
then she started like calling another line of mine, and she said, Stephanie, they're like interfering with our business now because they keep calling and
Oh
calling and
my
calling, and they're saying,
God.
tell Stephanie we aren't leaving town until she gets here. So this went on until like Wednesday night. They started at Monday. It's like 7 in the morning. By Wednesday night at 9, I thought, okay, they've had to have left by now, right? They wouldn't be paying this crew because they pay everybody like
Oh
in
yeah.
contractor. So this is
Yeah.
hourly with 15 people. I'm
Well,
thinking,
and a lot of them are union, so they're going to be paying more for
right,
the extra work.
exactly. So I thought, okay, I can turn my phone. It's 9 o'clock at night, Wednesday. They got the hint. Turn my phone on, Nick. Within 5 minutes, my phone started ringing.
Oh my
They're
God.
all still there, and they said, as we said, we're not leaving.
Did they threaten you with any like damages or anything? Because I know in the Love Is Blind contract, if you leave or pull out or anything without producer's permission, they can charge you a 50K fine for
Yeah.
damages.
No, nothing like that. Because I had asked the executive producer, because this is reality TV. This is supposed to be, a real engagement. And I had said, what would ever happen if we were to break up? And they said, well, then of course the show would be over. And I had asked the executive producer that, because I wanted to know every little detail.
Well, they
And
just lie.
they about everything
Hmm.
from minute one, they lie.
Hmm.
So I was bawling, but at this point, I am like catatonic. I'm like, you know, Pam is already telling me at work that they're disrupting, and she's trying to get all this work done, and people are trying to call and schedule and get in, and they're just calling. And so I went down there at 9 at night, just bawling. And a couple of the camera crew, just come on. As you had said, this will be great for your business, which I had said. I admitted, because, before they're like, this is going to make you famous. And I'm like, I don't give two shits about
They
being
try to
famous.
sell that as payment. You're going to get a lot of followers. Someone told me you're going to casually make $1 million a year. Now that was never my motivation for doing it. And I am not motivated by money. But it was just this like, we can do whatever we want to you because you're going to get famous.
Right. I know. And I don't know about you, unless you're Bethany Frankel, I don't know anybody making $1 million or even close for being on a reality show.
Yeah, I can speculate, but I have no idea.
Yeah. Or, well, I have heard the Beverly Hills, or not yeah, Beverly
The
Hills, the
house
Housewives.
the
They make,
housewives, yeah.
they make 70 grand an episode. So I've heard. I mean,
Yeah.
we make peanuts.
What did you make?
$1,000 an episode. But you could literally work 15, 16 hours a day for 3 days in a row, be exhausted, and I'll go, how many episodes did we get? Maybe one. We're going to throw most of that away, and that's how they operate. And that's why we didn't even get paid minimum wage. Again, first illegal thing they did, besides saying, saying that, we're just going to follow you around. It's your day to day life. And then they come in and you don't get to say one thing. You're going to say this, you're going to say that, you're going to say that, you're going to wear this, you're going to do this, call Ryan again, call Ryan again.